grew up being a minority among minorities. I'm from a Bangladeshi family, and the only other Bangladeshi people I knew were my family. There's no one else in the community. And it was hard to be taken at all seriously by peers in my school, especially because I would do well in school. I was a good student, but because I was a lion, so to speak, I wasn't really counted in a lot of things. Like, I had teachers and students that were supportive of me, and I am thankful for people like that who did support what I did and did not look at my race or my background. But I did also face a lot of racism growing up, mainly from people who just could not stand the fact that there was someone who is an other but could do just as well or even better than a lot. My basic principle that rules pretty much things I do is that everyone has the right to pursue who they are. You have your own interests, you have your own passions, and you are given the right to pursue that, to explore that, and to get any opportunity to do what you want to do. That's why I do all my things with alternative education and with the blog and all my youth projects, because I want to get the word out that there are so many opportunities out there.
What I felt is she was, as a student, she was above average. She could learn very fast, and her passion is like reading. She reads all the time. She's eating, she's reading, she's going to shower also, she'll bring a book. Sometimes I will quarrel also, enjoy your food. She said, I am. And then sometimes she'll tell me, Mom, did I have my breakfast? I say, you did, because she was reading.
So a lot of it is really a case of, I wonder what interesting thing I can do today. Like, I'll often hear about some opportunity and say, oh, that sounds interesting, let me just sign up for it. So it's not so much, I have to do it, as so that, hey, this sounds really nifty, let me see what happens. People go through stress. I had gone through my own sets of stresses before with personal health issues and other life issues and such. And I think it was around that time that I came to the realization that this race for grades and this stress over A's is really pointless, because in the long run, does it really matter?
So she came back from school. She was like in standard 2, I think, standard 2. She came back from school and I asked, what did you have for lunch? She said, nothing. I said, why? She said, I have no money. But I gave you money. Why you think you have? And then she forgot about lunch. She put her hand in her, this bajikurong. She put hand. So, she forgot about her lunch. But she said, today there are people who are asking for derma. I thought I have no money. I could give this money. And she was so sad. But I was so happy that she didn't actually worry about that she didn't have a lunch because she doesn't have money. She had money, but she couldn't give the derma. That makes her feel bad. That makes me feel good.
It's all about how you build yourself from that situation. So that's how I've viewed life to be. Like, no matter what happens, you still have to move on to your best of your ability and the best of the circumstances. Just facing that, also facing some health issues as well. And for us, going through anxiety and depression, and that was very hard, because it's not something I can control. You get treatment for it and you do the best you can, but a lot of people did not understand. They thought I was faking it. This is a bad situation. Like, in school, they always push you, even if you're sick, come to school. Even if you're ill, you have to come do your exams, everything. And that made me think something has to change. Something has to change, because a lot of students are stressing themselves or getting themselves ill just to reach this aim of straight A's, or get this aim of a top university, getting a spot in the medicine somewhere. And I remember getting an email from, when I started my blog, soon after I started my blog, I got an email from a girl who said she applied to public for scholarship for medicine, but did not get in, and she had contemplated suicide a couple of times. There are people out there that need help, that need to know that there's more to life than getting A's. There's more to life than, stressing yourself. You have to take care of yourself. You have to listen to yourself and do what you want to do. So I suppose just experiencing that firsthand at school and then hearing it from other people, that probably defines why I'm doing what I'm doing.
She's rich in different ways. She's very rich in her passionate thing, with her heart, with her mind. She wants to do really, really things that is good for other people. No? It is not that she's pursuing her thing for herself. It is not. She was never like that.
Because the thing with anxiety and depression is if you have the medical condition, it's really just brain chemistry going on. There may be triggers in your life that do it, like stress or like a major event that has happened, like someone's death or like exams coming up. That's triggering, but it's basically brain chemistry gone wrong, and it's biological. There's not really much you can do beyond taking medication or seeing a psychiatrist or psychologist and doing therapy to learn how to control emotions and learn how to cope. But the first year I was diagnosed when I was 17 doing my SPM, I was diagnosed in early of the year, and it was hard because that year was also full of lots of ups and downs as well. And in school, my head mistress was sympathetic, but the rest of the teachers did not really understand. So I took a break, and that was worth it because I got to rest. I got to try different things. I joined the Star Brats and did some projects with them. I took dance classes. I traveled. I did a radio workshop. I made websites, and that was good because it gave me I could think about something else for a second. I relaxed a lot. And I got a lot better from there. And then also friends, I found more supportive friends who did not judge me for my condition, and that helped as well. Like if you have someone who listens to you and not judge you for your condition or whatever, that really helps. It's hard, especially if you're not used to, especially if you come from a culture where mental illness is seen as you're crazy or you're weak, you're just making it up. But you have to persevere. If you get even some support, that's very, very good. So even if you're not yourself afflicted, if you know someone who is afflicted, go and support them. That even if you can't really do anything except just stand there while they're ranting at you, trust me, it helps. That you have to learn how to cope with. And the fact that I am able to sit here and do this interview speaks volumes, because sometimes when I'm the worst of it, I don't talk to anyone. I don't want to look at anyone. Some people, they just stay like that. They hide in their room and don't want to face the world. But the fact that I'm able to do this means, very good recovery. It can be done. I just wish more people had some sort of empathy. I think a lot of people here also don't understand.